Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are. I'm Dr. Ruth Anderson here with Enlightened World Network. I'm here with Sue Broome, and we are bringing you messages from our loved ones. Hello, Sue.
Hello, Miss Ruth. It's so good to be with you.
I know. I always look forward to these times, and I'm so glad that we're here together today. So welcome, friends. And what this is we invite you to leave a message in the Facebook chat if you would like to hear from someone that you have loved and lost. And when we get that message, we take them in turn as they come. When we get that message, then Sue pulls out her cards that she created. Sue, would you share those cards? And they've got a message from you, and then we interpret the message, whatever spirit is sharing with us. So in order for this to work, we invite you to share with us who you would like to hear from. So, Sue, share with us, how are you today?
I am doing fabulous. And I was just sharing, that's why I was probably looking a little weird. It's just sharing this out on my page and to my story. And I have a feeling that I just feel like there's so as I'm preparing, waiting to connect with you, I'm shuffling the cards and I'm clearing my energy and I'm clearing my space and I'm calling in the angels and calling in all of the loved ones. And I feel like this room is really crowded. And it was funny too, because just a couple minutes before I came on, now I see I notice things in numbers a lot, and my dad showed up. So it's like, oh, good one, Dad. He just kind of sneaks things in different ways, and the chimes, of course. And I heard your chimes while we were waiting to get on. So the chimes are going to be active today as well, I think.
Yes, and Prachetta's on with us. Good morning, Prachetta.
Hi, Prachetta.
It's evening at Prachetta's home.
Good evening.
And Kay Withers is here. Prachetta, let us know if you'd like to hear from your parents, please. We're going to take Kay Withers. So Kay says, hello, dear ladies. So happy you're here. Would love to hear from my brother Raymond Lee Vigil. Raymond Lee Vigil, who passed away this past March 28.
Yes, I'm so glad you're here, Miss Kay. She was on yesterday and she said that she was going to try to pop on. So very glad that you made it. And yes, even as I'm shuffling the cards, I'm feeling the heat. Actually, the song I just heard too is "The Heat Is On." The heat is on. I don't know what show that came from. It was a movie, I think. Ghostbusters, maybe?
I don't know.
I don't know. All right. Let's see what card shows up. Oh, I feel your prayers of love. This is so beautiful. Whether you call it prayers or whether you call it messages that you're sending out or just thoughts that you are sending out to your loved ones, this is just a perfect reminder that they absolutely feel this loving energy. And the one thing about this every single card has the same image on it, but you can see that the sun and then the rays just burst out, and that's what it feels like. So you can look at this as, this is your love. That's where it starts, from your heart. And as you're sending out thoughts or prayers or thinking about the memories or just having that quick thought that goes through your mind, it's sending out this huge expansion of vibration that goes out to your loved ones, and they feel it. So I would say this is a really good confirmation, Miss Kay, that, and there go the chimes, that Raymond absolutely feels your love.
Well, and what I'm getting too, Kay, is, and I just kept getting it over and over, a jack-o'-lantern. And even goosebumps while I'm saying it. I mean, I'm getting the smell of it while, it's kind of smoking in there. And I'm seeing a little girl at the door, and she's got just this great smile, and she's so excited to be there. And it looks to me like your brother is answering the door. Now, here's what I don't know. I don't know if he loved Halloween, or if he's aware that Halloween is coming up, because it really could be both. So I am just really curious, but he just keeps showing me the jack-o'-lantern and him opening the door to this little girl who is loving every single moment of Halloween. So I would love to know, Kay, if Raymond had any particular connection to Halloween whatsoever.
That's
All
very
right.
cool.
Yeah, it's fun because it's all lighthearted, and it's not like he's trying to be spooky, scary. It's like he's just loving it. Okay, so Pritchetta would like to hear from her parents, and I'm getting them separate. I'm not getting a group conversation like oftentimes they'll give us. But so we've got mom and dad.
All right, so mom first.
That's funny. That's what I got too.
Mm-hmm. She the one that did she did she do a lot of cooking? Because I don't know. As soon as you said, yeah, that's what I got too, is mom first. I'm seeing like all kinds of like pans on the stove, or the big pots on the stove.
Well, Pritchetta says it's festival season in India, and that's making her miss her parents more. And yeah, my time with Sharmi on doing a show the other day, there fireworks outside her doors, and it was like 10, 11 o'clock at night, which is why I know it's late where Pritchetta is now. And it was loud. I mean, it was like the fireworks were right next to me. I thought, I don't know how y'all are going to sleep because this is so loud. So yes, it is festival season.
All right, well, this is from mom. Is remember our favorite memory.
Aw.
And so I don't know if this is a memory of the festival time, or if this is a time, a memory of cooking something special, because I don't remember cooking with my mom, but I do remember cooking with different people, different friends. And I have a friend, she was from Wisconsin, so I haven't had any contact with her for a really long time, but she was from India. And when I would go over there for dinner, she would be cooking, and she was a really, really good cook. And so it was fun learning different things from her. So for me, that's a fun memory. And then, okay, so this is kind of perfect for that. So going back into that favorite memory and smelling, especially smelling or hearing what is going on and really feeling the vibration of the energy of what is happening isn't just such an awesome connection. Of that.
Yeah, Pritchetta said her mother was a fantastic cook. She said she cooked my favorite food hours before she passed away.
Oh,
so beautiful. When my husband's mom passed, in her freezer was a casserole, which was the family casserole that she made all the time. We have had that in our freezer for 15 years. I mean, of course, nobody's going to touch it. But we've got chicken and noodles in the freezer. So
that's funny.
Yeah.
Kind of like an anniversary, or the top of the cake. It's like,
yeah,
no,
very much so. Don't eat it. So Pritchetta, what I saw with your mother, I think that they are right there with you all during this festival time, because what I was seeing was like from her vantage, like she's what I call fettushing, like getting, and she's like fettushing around her arm, and it's like gold. It's like very vibrant colors, but like a gold bracelet almost. But they're getting in there, they're getting ready. They're, celebrating. So I think they are right there with you. Right there with you.
Mhm.
So question is, do you all do like the henna and the jewelry and the dressing up and all that stuff for this festival season? Because that's what she's showing me. So I would love to know that. So moving on to the dad, your dad.
All right, let's see what Dad has to say. Says, ooh, invite me into your dreams.
Mm.
This is something, I forget to do, but I love the way that this is worded. Invite me into your dreams. And I think it should say also, and allow me to remember it the next morning.
Exactly.
You'll have to set that as your intention, but it truly is, because I feel like he's already been coming to you in your dreams, though you might not be remembering it. So, or he's in the words I'm hearing is supporting role. It's almost like if you're watching something, play out, and he's kind of standing in the background. And once you invite him, oh, now I'm getting chills.
Mhm.
Once you invite him in, he'll step into the role. And so invite him into your dreams, and then set the intention that you'll remember in the morning as well. But I think that it's an awesome way for you to connect with him in a way that he's trying to already do it.
Prachetta, I have been saying all these months, your parents never left you. And what I'm seeing is where your mom is, and, she's getting ready. They're in the kitchen with y'all. And your dad is showing me in many kitchens, at least in the States, people will have canisters out on the cupboards. And they might have coffee in it or tea in it or sugar or something like that. But they just stay out on the cupboard or the cabinet all the time. Your father is showing me that. And what that symbolizes is they never go away. They're always there. And that's the symbol for him. He's always there. It's like he's always in your kitchen. He's just part of the fixture. So, yeah, I have never thought your parents went far.
And that's it's a good thing for people to remember, because they are near. I shouldn't say, because I think they have a lot of things to do, they do have their things that they have to do once they're on the other side. But when we call them, when we send our prayers out, when we go into that memory, when we ask them to step a little bit closer, they're here. So they're not like in some far off place.
Yep. And I too believe that they can be here with you and they can be somewhere else at the exact same time.
Mm-hmm.
So, if you're talking to your sister and she goes, oh, I just thought about mom. It's like, yeah, I did too. How did we both just think about mom?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and that's a really interesting, because as you're saying that, this is what I see. So say that I'm the mom and here's my two kids and they're in two different states, and somehow I can full time, so I can just go,
hello.
And both of them are like, oh my God, did you just have this memory? Oh my God, yes. Oh my God. So, and I'm getting chills. I love it.
Yep. So Prashetta said, My mom used to wear lovely jewelry. She used to dress up and put henna on for the events. And then she also said on October 13, married women will be keeping a fast in India. They don't eat anything throughout the day, nor do they drink water. This is done for the long life of the husband. I think that's cool. So, like, if you decide that you don't like your husband and you go eat a lot that day, it would just be funny to see, if folks don't buy into that, or they're going, okay, let's move this one out.
Funny.
Bruchetta said her mother loved the festival and it was very romantic to see them. Aww, so sweet. So very, very sweet. Want to get back to Kay's comments. So when we were talking about, did he love Halloween or was he aware it's coming up? She said, most likely he's aware. He took my son out trick-or-treating when he visited in New England, when he visited once. Also, I just posted a picture of some deer eating pumpkins prior to coming on here. Yeah.
Oh, and it's funny. I just saw a quick video of a dog starting to eat a pumpkin. And the thing was about different healthy things for your dog, because pumpkin is really good for animals.
Yeah, right.
That's funny.
So there's days in India that husbands also fast with their wives. Yeah, you guys do a lot of really cool things that we don't do here in the States. I think that's very cool.
I think it's called tradition. Once we came to the United States, a lot of those traditions are forgotten.
Yes, I think it's true.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So we don't have anybody else asking yet. So if anybody else wants us to take a look at a loved one, please send that forward. I would ask Sue, while we're doing this, my husband is going through some medical procedures right now and would love to hear a message from his mother, if she's got any message for him. Her name is Helen.
All right, Miss Helen.
Or Mom.
Oh, that bird wanted to come up, and I saw it flip over too, and it's actually kind of funny. So when a card that was just recently pulled, and you guys saw me shuffling, pops up again for the second person or the third person, it's actually, I always feel like it's amplified, and the chimes go. And it says, I feel your prayers of love. So what I feel like this is, I think it's a little bit of both. I don't know if he's asking for her to comfort him, if he would do that, or if it's maybe you that are asking her to comfort him. Because I feel like there's a comfort to this. It feels a little different than it did earlier. It feels like this is, and I know I've used this expression before, but kind of wrapping a blanket or a shawl of love. And that's what it feels like. So it's like, as he's going through, if anxiety is coming up, there's just this warmth that comes around him, that he might be able to consciously feel. I know that you would be able to feel it, Miss Ruth, but I think that he does on some level. So
that's great. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, chimes are going like crazy today. And yours are too. I've been hearing them every once in a while pop in. So it's like we got the dueling chimes going on.
Prachetta said, thank you for that, by the way. Prachetta said, my Aunt Mina lost her husband in the World Trade Centers, 9/11. Can we connect to my uncle, Prem Giraffe, and get a message? Thanks so much.
So PREM.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Hmm.
So he's the one that passed him. Okay. Got it. I had a friend that she worked in the towers at the time. Or she knew a bunch of people. I don't know. Obviously she wasn't there because I knew her after that, but she had like, I don't know, 10 to 15 people that she knew that passed that day. That's just crazy. I just can't even imagine.
Mm-mm.
Ooh. There it is. There it is. Our connection is strengthened through your breath. Oh my gosh.
Every breath.
You know, the reason this is like it really, really hit me today is because yesterday when I was doing the Facebook Live, though I did not pull any card that said breath, I was getting overwhelmingly that people aren't breathing, and it is their connection. It's so interesting to me because I think when we get in our breath, it is a way for us to remember the connection, to get into that connection of love, the connection that we have to the divine, the connection that we have to our angels, but the connection that we have with our loved ones. And to really get out of all of, whatever is going on around us and just stop and focus on our loved one with the breath connection. I just feel like it's amplifying, going back to the sun and the beams going out. It's an amplification is what it feels like. Ooh. Yeah.
So this is, and I guess Terry got to meet Aunt Mina. Aw. Oh, because I thought, well, how did Terry do that? Because Aunt Mina and her cousin live in New Jersey. So Terry got to meet. So this is interesting because the first thing that I saw was a field of daisies. And I don't know if you guys do daisies in India, because, we all have different kinds of flowers wherever we are. But daisies, white and yellow daisies, and just this amazing, beautiful field. And it's quiet there. There's this table, long table, that is prepared for dinner. And I'm getting goosebumps saying this. Seat after seat after seat, the plates and the silverware and the cup and lots of flowers on the table. And there's nobody there. And it is feeling very emotional. It feels like there's nobody there because there weren't a lot of other relatives that had, you know what I mean? It's like your uncle is waiting. He's waiting for the other loved ones to cross over. And he's got the table set. It's a beautiful setting, but he's waiting.
Wow.
It feels, my human emotions are, I believe, different than his, because I don't believe that they're there pining for us, waiting, right? I think in the blink of an eye, y'all will be there and be around the table with him. But my human emotions are going, oh, that must be sad, that must be lonely, but I don't think that's really how they feel.
No, the part that really sticks out for me is he's making sure everything's ready. And it's not like he's not like, where are they? Where are they? No, it's just, he's just making sure. And, you have the table set and it's like, oh, this fork is out of place. So I'm going to just go adjust it. And, oh, we need a little bit, more water in the flowers over here, or we need, whatever. But it's like, he's just getting it ready.
And it's a big table. There's going to be a big celebration when everybody gets there. Yeah. And Perchetta said he used to love to cook. He did lots of barbecue.
That's funny.
I think he's still cooking.
Yeah. Well, and there's different things from my grandma Lindy, my mom's mom, that I used to do when I was, cooking for my family back in Wisconsin, and I was married at the time, having people over. I would do what Grandma Lindy used to do, and I would make sure that I had all, the table was usually set the night before, and, I would do as much ahead of time as I could, so I didn't have to be cooking and things like that when people were there. So that's what it feels like. It's like, yep, I'm just getting this stuff ready so I can enjoy the conversation and the exchanges that are going on when they're actually here.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, I'm sorry. I couldn't figure out why my laptop was going to die in just a minute, but I finally figured out why it wasn't charging, but now it is. So there we go.
That's right.
That's right. The whole 9/11 thing, I think whenever there's a mass exodus, it just makes you go, what was that about? The whole Holocaust thing, anytime there's so many people leaving at once, I think that's always such a good spiritual stretch for folks to try to wrap their minds around what's really happening here, lots of thinking.
Well, and for 9/11, of course, I didn't feel this right away, but I think it was, if you look at the level of compassion that raised after that, not just in the States, but in the entire world. So chills. So you think of the collective needing a consciousness boost. So all of the people, all of the souls that knew, wow, I get to be a part, major chills, I get to be a part of this. And helping to raise the consciousness of the collective, the compassion that everybody received, from that. I think that's part of it.
Yeah. Perchetta, so interesting. Perchetta said he was the only one from his office who passed away. He used to work for the Port Authority of Newark in New York, and he was one of the engineers who built the Twin Towers. Wow. And they found nothing. He was in the first tower.
Mm-hmm.
And Kay said, wow, I remember talking to you both maybe 6 months ago when my brother was alive, and you told me that my Aunt Josie was preparing for Ray, and my Uncle Benny was looking for things to share with my brother when he arrived. I so understand what you were referring to, just being prepared for the day we go back home.
That's beautiful. And going back to what you said before too, it's like, yes, he's preparing the table, but he's still able to, when you're thinking about him, or when someone needs a little pick-me-up from him, they're able to be there. So very, very cool.
Yeah. Don't you wonder, Sue, do you ever think about food in the ethereal realm? Because rarely do I actually see real food in the ethereal realm. I mean, I've been during meditation several times, like at a banquet over there, and it's like, oh, let me see the table. I just want to see the food. that is being served. I just think it's kind of a fascinating. Do you see food in your meditations in the ethereal realm?
I haven't actually ever thought about it or remembered that I have or I haven't. But as we're talking, the feeling that I get is, you know what? People are going to get whatever if they want something to eat, they're going to be able to eat it. And there's not going to be this, oh, I have to worry about how many calories did I just eat? Or,
That's what Kay just said. She said, I wish our food was ethereal. Haha, less calories.
Yeah. And your chimes agree, I think. So yes, it's kind of like whatever you want, you get.
I'm going to enjoy food over there. I enjoy it here, so I'll enjoy it there. Prachetta was saying her uncle had stayed back to help somebody who had fallen down.
That's beautiful that she knows that.
Yeah.
That I think that's really cool. And I think that thinking about that he was able to help someone, so just such a selfless thing.
My dad absolutely would have done the same thing. Even knowing this, because this was my dad, even knowing that he might lose his life doing it, my dad would have done it. He was always the one, if somebody was going to walk in the door, he would run ahead and grab the door. And my mom used to go, Charles, you don't need to do that, He's going,
that's funny.
I'm just being polite.
That's funny. Yeah. It's interesting. I think, I don't want to say the memories because it feels a little different than that, but spending time with our loved ones, even though they're in a different place, we can still do that. You hear about, people at different celebration times. So whether it's the holidays or a birthday or an anniversary, where they set the table for that person, or they bake a cake for that person, or they, always have a place setting, or they sit. Like I'm looking at my table by the window here, and it's like, if I set a place setting for my loved one on the other across the table, and actually sat down and actually talked to them out loud, which I talk to them out loud anyway, but
yeah,
having that conversation with them, even though you might not be able to see them in a different way, see them with your heart, see them with your ears, see them with how your heart feels, how are you getting chills, are you, see them in a different way, feel their energy as you're having that conversation. And it seems like, yeah, they're arguing with me, because sometimes they do. It's like, are you sure you want to do that? It's like, yeah, I do. Are you sure you want to have that second piece of pie? Yes, I do.
As a matter of fact. So I'm loving this thread that we've got going here. Prachetta said he called Aunt Mina at 9:30 in the morning, told her that he was stuck with someone who was hurt. He didn't want to leave the person alone. He told her to go home and wait for him. Wow.
That's beautiful.
It is.
It does, it's, yeah, because even he may have known what was happening, and yet he said, I'll see you when I get home.
Yeah.
I'm feeling a lot of emotion with that, man.
Yeah. Well, it reminds me of the movie The Titanic, where one of the folks who designed it or something was on the in the movie. I don't know if it really happened, was on the Titanic, and they were going, yeah, I know what's going to happen. And I wonder, with him being one of the engineers, if he maybe knew what was going to happen. Yeah. I don't know.
Wow.
So Kay, you asked about my dad. My dad passed about 5 years ago now of mesothelioma. And one of the things that I will always remember about him was how moral he was. If there was a rule, he followed it. Even if it was, I remember when I was in middle school, and I was in a singing group, and we wanted to make a copy of a piece of music to sing with the group. He would not let me do it because copyright infringement. And that's just who he was. So I will always remember that about him. But at the same time, he was also very spiritual. And he would tell me the story of when he was a child. He would go to Sunday school and have spiritual versus religious conversations with the Sunday school teachers, and how that many years ago, they had no idea what to do with him because he was born, let me think, Dad was born in 1929. What do you do with a precocious kid who's talking spirituality versus he was an amazing person. Yeah.
So funny.
Yeah. I miss him a lot. Okay. So Perchetta said, my aunt wanted him to take a holiday on 9/11 because she wanted his help in her office, but he had an appointment and was running after but he had an appointment he was running after for 8 months. So Aunt Mina would have had him out of the building, and he felt he had to go.
Yeah. So there was definitely his soul calling.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Well, it feels so special today, Prachetta, with your parents, and Kay with your brother, and Sue with your family, and my dad and my mother-in-law. Just what a beautiful time today to just be with them and think of them and just enjoy the memories and enjoy the love that we shared and that we share. And that realization that they don't really leave us and they know what's happening with us. And what a gift that is for us to know that.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think they show up in our lives in so many more ways than we even realize. It's like if we could see all of the unseen things, we would be amazed. Yeah. Even, the image that I got when you're driving your car and all of a sudden, you might swerve or, something bizarre happens. And it's like, okay, was that them saying, hey, grabbing the wheel or, or was it your angel? Either one or both, one on either side. Yeah. I know. So my cousin, when I was a kid, my cousin, she drove Grandma Broome's car after Grandma and Grandpa Broome passed away. Both, actually, you know what? I think it was this month that they both passed away. I mean, and this was a long time ago, but I'll have to look that up because I know they died really, really close together too. But so my cousin used to drive Grandma Broome's car after the estate was settled and all that. And we'd be driving, so it'd be her in the driver, I in the passenger, and she'd always see Grandma Broome in the back seat. Yeah, in the rear view mirror, she'd see her sitting there.
Okay, I have to tell, and Sue, I think you know this about me. Um, the first, would you call that an apparition? I don't know if that's the right
Probably
term.
image. I don't, probably apparition is closest. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know, 8 years ago, 9 years ago, my best friend died of stomach cancer. And I had been with her in LA while she passed. The next morning, I was driving to the airport to come back to my family. And I was crying, sobbing as I'm driving on the freeway, which, I drive those freeways white knuckled anyway, because there's so many cars. And I thought, I just pray nobody's watching me because I look like a crazy woman, right? I'm just sobbing. And I heard a noise in the back seat. And I thought, I'm going to die. I don't know who is in the back seat, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to die. And I thought, well, do I even know where a police station? I mean, what do you do? Right. So I looked in the mirror, I looked in the rearview mirror, and there's my best friend in the back seat with her husband who had died 4 years earlier. And he looked so happy and she looked so tired. And I just started laughing. I mean, my sobbing turned to laughing. And that was the first I had ever actually seen someone who had passed. So that I have never heard of anybody with that same story.
That's really
Thank
cool.
you for saying that.
Yeah, and I feel like, so I'm getting emotional, as you can tell, because it's like he was so happy. But yet she still, because she had just transitioned, you said she looked so tired.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have heard of after people transition, especially after a long illness, where they just they call it heaven hospital or angel hospital. I've heard it called different things, where
Cocooning.
they got to recuperate, it's not so much their physical body, because that's gone. It's their emotions and all of the things that they have learned. I think, helping them process. It's yeah. That's a beautiful story too, because you look at how she helped shift your energy.
Yeah.
Especially as you're driving through all kinds of traffic. It's like she didn't want you to get into an accident. Oh my goodness.
Exactly. Well, and then the weird thing was when I came home and I got to plan her funeral, which was a beautiful gift for me. She would be next to me as I'm sitting at the computer. And so I was comfortable with that. And so I would talk to her like you talk to your family members. And I would say things like, well, what about Old Rugged Cross? And she'd go, oh, yeah, we played that at Cliff's funeral. Or I'd say, or what about Amazing Grace? And she'd go, oh, yeah, that's a good one. So she helped me pick the music. She helped me pick the pictures to use. And she and I used to travel together for fun. And so many of the photos I had of her was with her wearing sunglasses, right? Because we were always outside. And so I had pulled up several photos and she says, don't you have any of me without sunglasses?
Like,
no, no, I don't. But it was just so funny that she was in spirit. She picked the font for the program. She picked the colors. She picked the flowers. She picked everything. It was so fun and it meant so much to me. And because of those experiences, then I started really going, what is this? And how do I work with this? So that started my journey.
That's funny. That's a beautiful that she was able to help you.
She would leave my house actually for about 3 months. And because her bedroom was down, her bedroom, the guest bedroom was downstairs, and I would go down there and I would just feel her. But a couple of times I would hear the dog, Jack, in the living room. Well, our dogs are always right next to us. That's just how they are. Jack was in the living room by himself, sitting on the third stair, making these funny noises, like he didn't quite know what to do. And I walked in and I could see her sitting with him on the third stair, petting him. And it's like he didn't want to leave her and he didn't quite know what to do with it. It was really sweet. Okay, I'll just read these couple ones. Kay said, I remember when I was a child, I was riding a bike that I had no business riding because it was a man's tall bike. I did the same. Scars on my knees. It was way too big for me. I then found myself riding and falling face first to the ground.
Oh,
But all of a sudden, the bike went upright with me on it. I then knew I was protected by angels.
wow. That's really cool.
I have the scars. Kimberly Wilkins said, my auntie passed. Aw, okay, Kimberly, we'll take a look. She said, my auntie passed yesterday. I held her hand to her last breath. Aw.
Oh, that's beautiful. I'm glad you were able to do that, Miss Kimberly.
Yeah. Kimberly, let's just take a minute and let's just feel into your aunt, if you don't mind. Kimberly Wilkinson, her aunt.
I feel so much gratitude.
What I'm seeing, Kimberly, is that she can turn and see what she's left. And she's also turning and seeing where she is and where she's going. And I think she's in this space right now of reflection and expectation all at the same time. I just keep seeing this to this to this.
Yeah. I'm just feeling this overwhelming gratitude and love.
Yeah, Kay, it's not a tug of war. It's not a tug of war, because tug of war would mean, it would mean that she's caught in between and she's not.
Yeah.
She's aware. She's aware. I've told Sue this story several times, but at my mother-in-law, Helen, who we were talking about earlier, at her funeral, I saw up in front of me, Helen facing us with a guide. And they were talking about all the people that were in the room and the people that she had impacted in her life. And she had an awareness. We were mourning her. I did not get that sense that she was mourning. She was not in mourning. She was aware. And to me, that's what it is. It's not a tug of war. It's an awareness of both.
And I think that they actually comfort people that are left, because they understand what they see. They can see where they're going, but there's a comfort that it's like, you'll be here, like you said before, you'll be here in the blink of an eye, and it's okay. But I was just feeling this. I think Kimberly said she was holding her hands, and I could. So it was what I saw is like her aunt's hand was in between both of hers somehow, and there was just this energy of love going back and forth. and I'm gonna go back, even the breath is like her last breath was this feeling of love, wanting to send love to Kimberly, helping her to feel that she's okay where she's going. Kimberly will be okay. And she's okay where she's going. That's what I was feeling. It's very beautiful.
Yeah, I can totally feel that last breath almost as a gift.
Yeah.
Just pure love, pure love.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And Kimberly said she has so much gratitude to have been able to share this last year with her. Yes. Yeah. That gratitude was definitely going both ways. Yeah. So, friends, we're going to go ahead and close up now. And thank you. Thank you so much for spending time with us today. It was really beautiful. My heart is just full. So, I thank you.
I thank you as well.
So, friends, thanks for being here at Enlightened World Network. We look forward to seeing you for each of the things that we do, but especially with this time with Sue. Sue, when is our next time?
Monday, November 14. Okay. And the time change will have happened, so I will be on your time zone, Miss Ruth.
Awesome. Well, we look forward to seeing you all back then. And Sue, so much love to you. Everybody take good care. God bless. We'll see you soon.